Hey guys, Godric Gray here with Dragon Masters, bringing you a video today on how you can survive winter LARPing. So I just got back from my first winter camping event of the year, and I absolutely love LARPing and camping in the wintertime. Now, it can be kind of intimidating when you're first starting out on what should I bring, is this gonna be fun, how cold is it gonna be? I absolutely love it though. I don't think there's anything else like being around a fire with a bunch of your friends, all wrapped up in the wintertime, fighting in the cold where you're not quite as hot. I absolutely love it. I remember though, the first couple of events that I went to in the wintertime, I had a terrible time. I was not prepared, I did not have the right gear, it was an utter disaster. I remember one time a friend and I were camping and it dropped down to 20 degrees. And we were camped in one tent on the ground with just a cheap $20 Walmart sleeping bag. We were up at about 3 in the morning making a fire, just freezing. It was terrible. So the goal of this video is to help you be able to not go through that, and so you can enjoy your winter LARPing events. So in this video, we're gonna start with some of the essentials that you need if you're going to be camping and LARPing in the wintertime. Gonna start kind of on the top and work our way down. So for me, you can see I have a hat on here. I actually have 2 hats on. I have my more period looking, not quite period, but more LARP looking hat there. This one's made of linen with some fur on it, and then I have my actual hat here. I got this hat from Dick's Sporting Goods. I think it was 10 bucks. You need one if you're gonna be camping in the wintertime. Keep your ears warm. I also have my hat here that I put on over the top of it, and it covers it up really well so you don't see it. Lifesavers. Have to have a hat to keep your ears warm. Moving on down, we get to the garb that you're gonna be wearing during the day. Generally, I have thermals on. I have a thermal long sleeve, thermal pants as well. I have 2 tunics, and sometimes I'll even throw a sweatshirt on underneath my main tunic. These are linen, but whatever you generally wear will work. Make sure you wear layers. If it's gonna be cold, bring as many layers as you think you'll need, and then add 2 more layers. You can always take stuff off. You can't always put stuff on if you forget it. So always bring more. So generally this past weekend I had my thermals on, I had a long sleeve shirt on over that, I had my under tunic, and I had my real tunic, plus some of the cloaks and stuff we'll get to here in a minute. But that is the main thing that you need for, you need to make sure that you layer up. Same thing with your pants. I have thermal pants on. I then have another long sleeve, sometimes tights, sometimes sweatpants, and then I have my guard pants on over the top of that. And then you get to what, in my opinion, is the most important part of the entire weekend. The thing that if you forget this, it will ruin your event. Make sure you have good footwear. Get a nice pair of wool socks. They are lifesavers. And get a pair of waterproof shoes or boots. They can be period, they don't have to be. You can get options in both, but make sure you take care of your feet. If you don't, your entire event will be ruined. Now I'm gonna go grab a couple of my layers here and show you what I put on top of this to kind of make it a little bit warmer. This is what I would generally fight in the wintertime. Add some gloves because it's a little chilly out here on my hands. But when the sun starts to go down and we're gonna start hanging out around the fire, I'll show you what I grab and what I put on. So if you've watched any of my other videos, you know that I always like to wear hoods. Hoods are one of my favorite pieces of garb. You can make them look any way that you want, and they're a really neat thing that can add some personal character and touch to your garb. The one I have here, this is a big wool one. I love this one because it's huge. When you put it on, it comes down like all the way down here, and you can kind of wrap up in it. I've got a couple of other ones as well that I wear that are a little bit heavier material. This one's again wool. pretty good against the water, whereas some of the other ones are a little bit heavier, a little bit lighter. I have summer hood, fall hoods, winter hoods, depending on what you're wearing and if you want to make it work. You can get hoods pretty cheaply, 30, 40 bucks sometimes. Sometimes you can go way more than that, of course, but your cheaper ones are going to be 30 bucks, and it's a windbreak, and it goes over your head. You can pull it up over your ears as well. Definitely recommend hoods if it is in your persona and your character time frame, something you think you can make work. They're awesome add-ons to any costume. Now, something else you can add on to any garb costume that's going to help you out a ton in the wintertime are furs. Here I have 2 coyote furs that I've sewn together. I'll show you how I wear them here in a bit. But these furs are great. You put them on, they're super warm, they match my hat, they fit with most aesthetics that you're going for LARPing, and they are not terribly expensive when it comes to cloaks and some of the other things that you could put on as well. But I've got 2 coyotes here. I sewed them together in the front and in the back and left a little bit of a head hole here, so I put them over my shoulders, and they keep me incredibly warm. I'll show you what that looks like. So this is my normal around the fire, gonna go walk around and see friends. I put my furs on over my shoulders here. They keep me incredibly warm. I've got the big tails that go all the way down my back. I can wrap my hands up in here if I start to get cold. I love these furs. You can get these guys online. Like I said, these are coyote. I've seen people with wolf. I've seen people with rabbit and skunk and all sorts of different things. Get creative with it. Foxes are really cool too. I like the coyote because they're bigger and they're a little bit cheaper. But if you're looking for something that is going to be authentic, maybe period, or at least look like it, and you're looking to wrap up in the wintertime, definitely consider getting some furs. All right, so now for one of my must-haves. One of the first things you should get when you get to a cold weather event, or even before you get there, go get yourself a good cloak. These things are awesome. You can wear them in the wintertime, in the fall, in the spring. They are a wind block, a rain block. If you need another layer to wrap up in when you're sleeping, if you get too cold, they are all around useful. Cloak I have here, which I'll put on in just a second, is a wool outside and a linen inside. I've had it for 4 or 5 years now, wearing it 6 months a year, pretty much every weekend. I love this cloak. They are the best thing you can get aside from taking care of your feet. Make sure you get a cloak. I'll put this one on and to show you how big and how warm it is. You'll get cloaks in different sizes and styles. Mine here is a tie front. You just tie it like this and you're set for the evening. Super warm, pretty heavy. Like I said, it's wool and linen, this one is, so it's very good in the water. It's got a hood you can pull up if you want to as well. You can wrap up in it. Oftentimes when we're sitting around the fire, you can wrap it around the fire and bring some of the heat into you. These things are incredibly valuable, worth every penny you spend on it. Get yourself a good cloak. Now, outside of your garb, other tips and tricks that you need to know before you go winter LARPing. Make sure you know where you're gonna camp, where you're gonna stay. Sometimes event sites will have cabins and that's awesome. Make sure you prep for that, you know. If, though, you're gonna be camping outside, make sure you have the gear to camp outside. If it's time to go winter camping and you roll up in a $25 Walmart sleeping bag without a heater, without any other layers, without protecting your feet, it could seriously hurt you. If it drops this past weekend, then when we were camping, 2 weekends ago, I guess, when we were camping, at night it dropped down into the teens. That's kill you weather. Be careful when you are winter camping. Make sure you get a good sleeping bag. If you can afford it, go to Dick's Sporting Goods and get one of their 20 or 10 degree sleeping bags. They are expensive, but they are worth it, and you only have to buy one for your entire LARPing career. I have the same sleeping bag I got forever ago. It was $100 when I got it, and it's a 20 degree bag. I, even on the coldest of nights, am pretty comfortable in that bag. If I'm not, I also have a little propane heater. Now, I got one that is made for a sailboat, so it's a little bit nicer of one, but you can go and get camping heaters, camping stoves at any of your Dick's Sporting Goods or any store like that. Those are incredibly valuable as well. You can get them on propane, or if you know you're gonna go to an electric site, just get a space heater. Just a normal, everyday space heater, plug it in before you go to bed, turn it on, and you'll be set and ready to go. When you are camping in the winter, one of the biggest hints that I can give you is get yourself off of the ground. Get a cot, get an air mattress, at bare minimum, get some of those camping pads. You do not want to be on the ground when it's 15 or 20 degrees outside. It will zap all of your energy, all of your heat, and you will just be miserable. Get off the ground if you can. Also, grab your cloaks if you're cold. Grab extra blankets. Bring extra blankets. Always bring more than what you think you'll need for winter camping, because you would rather have things that you don't use than be sitting at 3 in the morning shivering thinking, why didn't I bring that extra blanket? Why didn't I bring that cot? Please make sure you take care of yourself when you are winter camping. It is awful, terrible when I hear stories of people who go out camping who are not prepared. Maybe they're up at a higher altitude than they're used to, or it's colder than what they're used to, and they end up hurting themselves. And there you have my surviving a winter LARP video, my tips and tricks there. We went through some of the different things that I wear, some of the different gear that I have, maybe pass on some tips there for you. Remember, layer up, protect your feet. Then we talked about how to camp in it, get a good sleeping bag, take care of yourself, be careful when you're winter camping. If you like this and other videos like this, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and comment down below if you have any questions about anything that we said here today, or if you have any suggestions for future videos. My name is Godric Gray. I'll see you next time.